Amy Lacey, when I see things that are just heartfelt, and in the spirit of discernment we talked about, is the fact that you just came back from Kenya, right? Tell us about what you were doing there, because one of the posts that I fell in love with was you with the locals, and you're singing and you're trying to dance or catch up with them, which was funny. So
I'll say catch up better than dancing.
If you could tell us, what were you doing there? And I think what were you doing there? What was the feeling like to see the locals and just to really be one on the simplicity that they had? Because you were out in the streets.
It was actually a controlled environment, but they have this area in a building where they made it look very street-like. So that's what it looked like. But they did get street people to get in an enclosed environment because it was a television show, actually. So to answer your question, the reason I was in Kenya is this is my second time going there. The first time I went there, I was playing guitar for Gittens, and I just met some other people and made some connections. And this lady named Faiza that I became good friends with, she was putting together a show. And so she just wanted me to be the headliner. So she reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested. And I was like, heck yeah. Like, I loved Kenya the first time I went, and I had to go back. Told my whole family about it. I want my whole family to go there together one time. That's how much I love the place. The energy there was crazy, and the people there are beautiful. And so, yeah, I went out there to do a show, and I wanted to take my full band, which is a 3-piece band, but they had the budget for just 2 people. So, of course, I took my big brother, and so we did a duo show. And so my brother is and he's my blood brother, and he produces most of my music. So it's a blessing to be able to do music with my blood brother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that experience was amazing. And that video that I posted of them dancing to that song was one of the highlights of the trip because, I started playing the DJ at the TV shows. We sent them the song and he started playing it. And I've never seen physically how people would react to the music. You know, and it was just so cool because if you would have asked me, I would have just stood there and just dance side to side or something like that. And it was just so cool to see the kids have their own interpretation and just come up with stuff on the spot. And just, if you look at the video, when I looked at it, I was smiling the whole time. So I was like, I have to post this because I know I looked like an idiot half the time trying to do the dances that they were doing. But I don't know. Like, if anyone watches that, it's probably hard to not smile. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not scared to try and learn how to do a dance move. And I just thought it was beautiful because it just shows part of the culture. You know what I'm saying? They just love to dance and they like very uplifting, up tempo music. So I don't know. Kenya is awesome.
I think it was more than just the tempo of the music. It was the love they had for your presence.
Definitely.
That was out there. And this, again, folks, so listeners, viewers, I want you to follow Will Gittens and look for that video on Instagram because it was also in the simplicity of how their lifestyle is, completely remotely, you know, on a different level. We're here, you hear the hustle, you want to, living the best life and all that other stuff that you hear. But then you see the simplicity of just their souls and how they love you. They love what was happening right at that given moment. And they had no cares in the world.
Definitely.
And I think, to me, living the best life is being happy, fulfilled, and peaceful. And it showed on that video.
Definitely.
So, part of your world tour, Will, you've picked up some lessons as you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Can you tell us or share with us a nugget of that moment you first landed in Kenya or any other foreign country where you really said, oh my goodness, my music can really impact and move lives?
You asked me at what moment when I was in one of these foreign countries that I realized that it could have an impact, you said?
Yes, like that really, truly moves lives. Sometimes we're here in the U.S. space and you're singing to, cameras. You really don't understand until you're in front of these, these individuals.
Well, for me, I think, honestly, it's harder to please American consumers and artists and listeners. And I've seen that firsthand because like just last year I did a show in London, right? So London, and London is actually where one of my biggest fan bases is. And I remember I did a small show at a bar, like capacity was like 250 people, and they, I didn't know. I saw on the numbers. You know, sometimes you see demographics, and you don't know how it's gonna work out. I was like, hey, I'm doing a show. I did one video promoting it, and it was 2 days before the show. I was like, hey guys, I landed in London. Like, hope to see y'all there tomorrow. And then I remember I didn't go to the venue. I went to the venue, but I wasn't in the actual performance part. I was in this separate room. I wasn't nervous, but I was thinking. I was like, man, I wonder if there's like at least 100 people there. And so I remember it was time for me to come to the show, and I walked up the stairs, and the place was packed out. You know what I'm saying? It was capacity. And just before I even started the show, I was kind of in awe. But during the show, it was the first time I've ever experienced people singing some of the songs I've written word for word. And it was kind of funny because, you know, Spotify will show you your popular songs and the ones that people are not really listening to that much. And there's certain songs that I just never heard or seen someone like sing the words back like verbatim. And I remember like there was a whole bunch of people, but there was one girl sitting in the front, and she was with her boyfriend, and she was literally singing word for word. And it's funny because I almost messed up the song because I was staring at her. I'm like, this girl is literally singing every single lyric to my song. And I know it does. I sound excited because I still think about it, and it makes me happy because, you know, people don't understand with songwriters and musicians, like, we put our all into, and we put a piece of our soul into the music. You know what I'm saying? And when it's being reciprocated in the way that we would dream, it's like you can't even explain it. You just feel so much like appreciation. You know what I'm saying? And it's like fulfillment because you're just like, man, I spent time. I recorded this song. I wrote it. I had money to mix it. I got people to mix it and master it, and just a song that took a couple $1,000 or a couple $100 to do, and it comes out being 99 cents. You know what I'm saying? For people to just click on, but they don't know the whole process of it. So when you see people just singing it word for word, it's so awesome. And just to have the same thing in Kenya, you know, them just singing a lot of the lyrics to my songs, and it's just awesome. It makes it so worth it.
I'm certainly sure that it makes it worth it just sitting there and seeing them. You know, you and it's a blessing. You mentioned that you have your brother who also produces music. So to give us a little bit of insight to Will's life, how many siblings do you have, and are they all musical like yourself?
So I have 4 sisters, and I have a brother now. And so it used to be 7, but now it's 6 because of the passing of my little brother. But my brother and I are super musical. All of us have, like, remember how I told you how I was doing sports and stuff, and then I tapped into music? Mm-hmm. My big brother did the same thing. We've all were, like, super sports jocks, like, amazing at sports. And what's crazy is all 3 of my little sisters are, like, one graduated from University of Southern Alabama, and she had a full ride playing volleyball. And now she's a fitness trainer.
Okay.
And then the middle sister, she's 20 years old, and she's at the University of Texas A&M. And she was the number 1 recruit in the nation for track. And God keeps her healthy, she's going to be in the 2020 Olympics in Japan.
Wow.
Running for Trinidad and Tobago, which is absolutely amazing. And then the baby, her birthday is actually tomorrow. She's about to turn 16, and she's the tallest one all of them. Like, it's crazy seeing how much she grows every time I go back home. But she's playing volleyball as well, and looks like she will probably be getting a volleyball scholarship by the time she's a senior. And so we're all, like, talented in sports, but everyone could sing. And there's a couple videos of my family on my Instagram. If you go dig deep around Christmas time, we always do, like, a video of us singing some carols and stuff. So yeah, that's how you could see that the whole the family is talented.
That is a beautiful thing, that everyone is doing their thing. You're all supportive of each other, and your family does sound love. It sounds like there's nothing but love and support, and to have that tribe around you. So to stay in the mind of Will, if you take us a little journey, when you think about your music and the things that you've shared with us, what's been deeply personal to you? You know, a lot of times there's in our songs and people when they're writing and they're singing music, there's usually something in there that's more personal, that resembles your journey. What song would that be?
I would say two songs that if you listen to, I'll say three of them. Three songs that if you listen to, you will kind of see just like something that's specific. It's so weird, man. I feel like there's a lot of songs that I have that are kind of personal, but the one that's the most personal that people resonated the most is the Day With You one. The one that I told you that people were like, man, like, oh, this is such a healing song for me. Yes. But the other one is called Forget About You. And I wrote a lot of these songs from my ex-girlfriend who I was with for 4 years. And it's crazy, like, the time I wrote some of the songs, like, I was either almost on the brink of breaking up or a couple months after. But I think that the pain of leaving that relationship, even though I'm cool, no, I'm not. I still don't like, you know what I'm saying? I have love for her, but I don't have any ties with her anymore. I could still tap into that hurt, you know what I'm saying? To write a song, you know? And so yeah, a lot of those songs, that's why a lot of people could relate to it, because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Most people experience relationships, whether it be boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband and wife. And actually just yesterday, somebody on Facebook, a guy hit me up and he said that he listened to the song Forget About You. And that's like, the title is confusing because you're thinking I'm going to say forget you or forget about you. But the song is Forget About You, I Can't Forget About You. And it's like, it's really saying like, I know you messed me up and I'm not perfect either, but you did a whole bunch of this stuff and it doesn't matter what. I keep thinking that I always look at the good rather than the bad, and that it doesn't matter what the situation is, I can't forget about you. And I wrote the song like a year and a half ago, and it's kind of how I was feeling. It's like, even though somebody hurt me and I know that she's not good for me, it's just like, I can't really stand to see her with someone else and see her happy with someone. You know, it's just some real stuff that everyone thinks about. And sometimes as men, people are scared to show their emotional side. And I'm not scared to do that. I'm very comfortable with who I am. And I would be the person to say those things. And a lot of guys actually are the ones that will be like, man, dude, this song is exactly how I'm feeling. And I wish like I was able to say that, but this is exactly how I'm feeling. So I think that's really cool.
Well, I'm going to jump in here because of the fact that you said some pivotal keys. You're a singer-songwriter. Another part that I could relate to is you write from the heart. And I think it's in the pain connectivity, and I've said this a few times in this podcast show, we all connect through pain. And I love the fact that you are being just so transparent with us to say, hey, I can tap into music, I can tap into song, I can write into this, because I can still tap into that pain and feel it. It's that ouch moment.
Yeah,
we can all relate to that ouch moment that still can bring tears, when you really dwell in it. It's a great segue, Will, for me to now ask you to grace us with another song. This time it's your choice. Artist choice is what I say. Out of the, you mentioned 3, but feel free to sing whatever it is that your heart calls you to do right now.
Okay, I wrote this song about women appreciating their natural state, their natural beauty. How Instagram, there's a lot of people that do a lot of filters and a lot of makeup, which looks great, but it's just I'm a person that appreciate women at their natural like state, which is beautiful to me. And so this is a song that if you feel like you're not pretty, you should listen to it. Have you forgotten who you really are? 'Cause if you did, girl, let me remind you that you're a star. Yeah, and even if you don't agree, let me paint a picture of what I see. 'Cause girl, baby, you don't need filter, 'cause your beauty is already there. And I will always be the first to let you know that you're already